So today is February 15th, 2025, and we're gonna brew some beer using the Anvil Foundry 10.5 gallon. I got it used off of Facebook, but I'll put a link in the description to it if you like it. But anyway, so here's my second time using it. I went from brewing a bag with a gas powered system, propane, and now electric. And I think I like it so far. But I'm going in the garage here. It's supposed to snow later or rain, so we'll see how this works. So let's check it out what the temperature it's at now. So I have set up here. It's kind of nice. Filtered water yesterday. Let's see what the temperature is at now. Oh, kind of hard to see on camera here. We're at 122. There we go. 122, and then I went to 153. We'll see what my recipe says. I think it's 150 actually, but I just put it to 153 this morning. 100% power. Takes a while to warm up there. One of the things I should have done, or I thought about doing, was I know you can set up to 24 hours in advance, or 12 hours in advance, so it's ready when you wake up. But since I was going to use the outdoor plug here, I didn't want to leave it like that all night, and didn't want to use an extension cord for another outlet. So that's where we are here. So I'm just waiting for it to heat up, and we'll start with the next steps here of brewing with the Anvil Foundry. So I ended up trying to get a little higher now to 157 because I'm going to add my grains here. I am making a Irish blonde ale, and it has 10 pounds of raw 2-row, 1 pound flake barley, and 1 pound malted oats. All right, so what I like to do is I go to my local homebrew store. There should be one near where you are, and get the grains milled and put them in here. BPA safe, food safe bucket. I always find the cheapest ones are at Tractor Supply. All right, so now we're going to slowly put it in here in the foundry. Basically, I have my grain basket right there, and then I put the bag in as well. You don't necessarily need that. I find it helps, and I kind of pinch the ends; they don't fall in. I slowly will be putting the grains in and stirring within it. So let me set up the camera, and then you can watch it. So I set it to 157 degrees. Because eventually it needs to rest at 152. The grains will be colder. Help roughly with the temperature there. And then, yeah, so we're slowly be stirring this in. You don't want to get cluster balls and things like that, dough balls they're called. So I have it in here and stir as I slowly add these grains and oats. I've never made an Irish blonde before, so we'll see how this one goes. But St. Paddy's Day is coming up, so I'm hoping it's ready by then. All right. Ideally, you had someone stirring with you, but we're solo venturing today, brewing. All right. Get these dough balls out. Oh, there we go. I'm also trying a new microphone today. Read some reviews online, people liked it, so I'll put a link in the description for it. I think it works out well. I thought it worked out well. This is my first time. It was so intuitive. Maybe I'll make a video about it, but it just plug it in and go. It was so easy to do on my iPhone. And actually, while I do this, I'm going to set the temperature to 152 again, so it maintains that. Now I keep going back and forth if I want to use the pump this time, the recirculation pump, or just let it soak. Normally what I do is I stir every like 15 minutes, but yeah, we'll see. I'll probably use the pump again. At the time making this beer, I'm going on a trip, and it'll be fermenting while I'm on my trip, and when I come back, I keg it. So hopefully it all works out well there. Total of 12 pounds of grains. Now I had I put 6.5 pounds of water, or 6.5 gallons of water in here, and I'm gonna add about a half gallon later. You'll see what I like to do when I bring the grain basket out to kind of get some more of the, I don't know, sugars out of the grains. I have found, since this is an electric one and it's only the 110, I have not upped it to the 220 because I don't have a 220 outlet here in my garage. that it boils, but it's not super vigorous. And so not as much water evaporates through steam here. So I don't want to add too much water to it. I want to end with a 5-gallon batch. Now what I'll do though, if it ends up being more, I can always bottle some of the beers as well. It's all right. It's all right to be a little more or less. It's all about having fun brewing beer and sharing it with people. One of the things I like to do every St. Patty's Day is I have a kegerator for my beer, homebrew, and I always have 2 beers. Well, not always, I guess last few years, 2 beers on tap. And one's an Irish Red, which I did again this year, but I changed it up a little, my recipe. I always like to experiment a little. And then usually I have a stout. It hasn't been as popular as the Irish Red, so let's see how this Irish Blonde goes. And I don't know if I've ever used the Irish Ale yeast. So we'll see how that goes. I always keep it. Oh, I like Lala Brew. Their Nottingham yeast is pretty good. Nice, easy ale yeast. That's my go-to, usually. But yeah, if you need to, I'm just talking as I'm stirring here. If you get into homebrew, go to your local shop, a local homebrew store. There's one here in Frederick where I live. Great one, the Flying Barrel. They're very knowledgeable. They can help you out. And if you need to learn how to brew on hand, they have classes there. I'm sure your local shop, wherever you are, has it. But yeah, brewing beer is nice. I don't know, social if you have people around, but activity. But you can, compare recipes. People there are very knowledgeable. They gave me a lot of tips over the years when I write questions. They're helpful. Ugh. These dough balls in here. I got a vigorous stir soon. Yeah, there's a dough ball right there. I will say my bag is reaching its limit. It is. I've used it many batches and it's starting to get a little tear in it. There you go. Let's just finish it up here. All right. Cover my bucket up. All right, let's get the last stirring in. Give it a good stir. Get all that. Feel the dough at the bottom there, the grains. Now, some people have said online their circulation pump gets clogged for them. I haven't noticed mine. I only did it once, so we'll see today. But maybe if I have in the bag in there, less, dust and stuff comes in. Oh, there we go. It's looking good. It's nice oatmeal looking. Come on, get a nice stir. Oh, that looks good. Then we're going to put the top on here. And what I found last time is, we'll see, it started dripping. So when I put the recirculation pump, it would drip out of here. So maybe I'll tuck these in here like this. So then it won't drip out. There we go. The outside. What happened was it would, it would just drip. It would get wet from the grains or from the liquid, and it would start dripping out the side. And the whole outside kind of dirty. So I tuck this in here. Little things you learn from trial and error. Okay, got that in there. That's all tucked in, rain basket. Good to go. All right, let's get the pump going. And I probably could have had this set up beforehand, but it is what it is. The hose is sitting on the tripod there, try to keep them more or less clean. Now my biggest fear is this pump is going while I'm inside doing something else, and then it pops out and just starts shooting all the liquid out. That's my big fear. Use this thing to adjust the flow rate of the liquid, of the soon-to-be wort. Oh, it's starting to snow now. What a day. All right. So this was kind of tricky. You're gonna make sure it's in here nice. Okay, I'll probably clamp it down. But when you turn it on, you want to see what the flow rate's gonna be. Okay, so you kind of have to kind of watch yourself, and the liquid's gonna be hot coming out, so you don't want to hurt yourself. All right, let's turn this on here. Coming through. I turn the pump on. And there we go. And it's kind of slow right now. Let's see. It's kind of, it's not going fast. I think it's getting stuck here. Come on. There we go. Sometimes it needs to get set. Oh, now it's going too fast, so let's go close this up. Ow, burn my hand. All right. I'll probably go a little faster than that, but there we go. So make sure it's lined up in there. You don't want it to fall out. Ow. See? And you don't want to burn your hand. Ow. Come on. There we go. That's what I want right here. I'm going to let it out a little bit. There we go. Now we set a timer for 60 minutes and let it do its thing. The temperature, and I wish the newer models I think hook to your phone, but it's at 152, perfect. So let's let it go for 60 minutes and then we'll take it out. So it's been about 1 hour, or it's been an hour, excuse me. And so now what I'm gonna do is unhook the pump, and then I'm gonna bring it up to 170 degrees for a mash out. And yeah, so let's do that first. First, I want to turn the pump off. Stop from circulating there. Then what I'm going to do is close this here. Now what I can do is I'm going to undo this here. Okay. Now I'm going to clamp this part of the hose here, because when I undo it, I want to save all that nice wort that we're making here. So I want to not let it hopefully come back out on me. We'll see, as much as possible. I'm gonna clamp that hose as much as I can to minimize. All right. Now, remember, this liquid is going to be hot, so I'm going to be careful not to burn myself here. Get the clamp off. All right. So I'm going to use gravity when I unhook this, and quickly, hopefully, if I can pinch it better, we'll see. Oh, the sun came out, but use gravity, get as much as I can. There we go, and there. All right. We got a little leakage, it's all right. Take this out here. Oh, it's hot. Be careful. Grabbing hot metal. Come on. Well, maybe I have to take the whole top off. Why not? All right. Come on. Put this down for a second so I can get this out here. Two-handed. There we go. Got it. All right. I'll get that cleaned up later. So now you can see the top. What it looks like here. Got the tripod. Oh, got that there. I'm going to take that off too. Good thing. Almost forgot about that. Take this off. If I can. If I can get this off before it gets too hot in here. There we go. There we go. Got that off. Let's put it out here for right now. I'll clean that out later. So now we have this. All that lovely, lovely wort sitting there. I'm going to get it to 170 degrees. So let's turn it up and play the waiting game. So now it hit 170 degrees on the Foundry. So we're going to have a mash out for 10 minutes. And while I'm at, I'm going to talk about my recipe here. So typical or simple Irish blonde. We got 10 pounds of Arturo, 1 pound flaked barley, and then 1 pound and changed up malted oats, and then 2 ounces of Willamette. They didn't have the hops I wanted there, which is fine. I'll try something different. Looked online, said pretty similar. And we're using Y Yeast 1084 Irish Ale. Their yeast there, it's a smack pack, already started that going. We already did the rest here for 60 minutes, and we're gonna mash out right now, 170 degrees for 10 minutes. And then our hop plan is 60 minutes and 15 minutes, 1 ounce of each. There, keeps it easy. Okay, hops are getting kind of expensive now. So anyway, so that's the plan when it gets there. Now, this takes a while to heat up, but I'll show you the whole process, how it lifts out and just rests there, and then I'll be pouring some warm water or hot water on top to try to get more of that, I don't know, juices out of the barley there. The total water is, I should write this down, I did 6.5 gallons, but then I'm gonna add about 0.75 gallons. Okay, there. And if we have a little more at the end, it's all good. So it's been 10 minutes now. So now we're gonna lift it out and drop my hot water in. So let me adjust this. Now I don't wanna pop out this ring here. So I wanna go like this and make sure I get it. And it takes a while for the liquid to drain out. There we go. Oh. So now all that is draining out. Bring it over so you can see. So it's draining out all that liquid through the bottom. I'm going to turn it up while it's doing that to boiling. All right, gotta save some time here. Just one shot, yeah. To 212 degrees Fahrenheit. And then once this drains out, I'm going to put the hot water I have here into it. So I'm trying to get as much of that liquid coming out, extract as much as I can. Then I'll pour some hot water on top to try to get the last bits out. And really let it drain. And then it's starting to boil up now, and then we'll boil for an hour. A lot of waiting. So, I don't know if you can hear it, probably not, but ooh, almost dropped my camera in there. It's still draining out, but I'm going to add my warm water now, so it keeps draining. Just put this on top here, and evenly spread it out, just to get it last little bit. Just fogging up my glasses here. There we go. So drain all that in there as it's heating up. Let's see how long it takes. So as I'm waiting for this thing to keep dripping, it's still going. We got some big snowflakes going on here. It's supposed to turn to rain later, but I don't think I've ever brewed beer in the snow. So, got that going for me. So now it is snowing a lot and sleeting or raining. It sounds like sleet. And soon it's going to rain, I think. But that's an idea. I want to get more of this stuff out. So I have a smash burger paddle, and I'm going to try to push some of these grains down, not too hard, to see if I can get some more juices out. I can hear it. And then I need to take this out. It's trying to boil, but I will say being at 110, that's working. You can see from the outside, maybe getting some of that out. But being only 110 outlet here, now the 220, it needs a top on to boil faster to get to boiling. Just pushing. You can see that in here, maybe. There we go. Just Smashing some of these grains. It finally hit 212. Took a while. So it's boiling now. So now I got to go add my hops to it and set a timer. Now I use a little contraption here with this to kind of hold it in there. So I'm going to set that up and I'll show you what it looks like. So this is how I have it set up there. A coat hanger wrapped around that. It's in there, and then I'll be putting the hops right in. So now I got 1 ounce of Willamette hops in there. I'm going to give it a little stir in a second with a spoon. And then let it boil for, I don't know, it's a 60-minute boil, this part, but basically I'm going to let it go for 45 minutes before I add the wort chiller in and all the other stuff. And the yeast nutrient. So I added here, I have yeast nutrient here and Irish moss. So I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of Irish moss and 4 teaspoons of yeast nutrient at the same time there. Let's let it boil. In 45 minutes, I had to do it off camera, but well, it's actually a little longer. Circuit breaker trip, because this is on the same circuit as our microwave, and yeah. Anyway, still icing here, but so I took the hops out for a second, put the wort chiller in, so it kind of gets to disinfect basically. Make sure everything's clean here. Now I'm going to add yeast nutrient and Irish moss in there. Add that. And actually, while I'm at it, it pours better. So I'm going to put the hops in this, my last ounce of Willamette hops. All right. I'm going to put that in here. Yeah, sorry, I missed it. Anyway, there we go. I'm going to stir that up. Let's see if I can do it here on camera. Don't drop the phone. There we go. All right, time it's up. I just turned it off, took out the hops. Now I'm going to hook up the wort chiller. Let's cool this thing off as quick as possible. And it's now done snowing. It's just kind of ice raining now. That's the process. So now I'm just going to check the temperature. All right. And I disinfect this thermometer here. Let me see, what is it at? Oh, it's already 81? That's cooling off fast. All right, we're ready to go soon. Fantastic. So now I'm bringing my fermenter from inside. It's not gonna be tall enough. Everything's sanitized here, but it should be enough that I can start transferring it in, and then I have to lift it up probably for the rest of the way. But here we go. There we go. And I don't know if this actually helps, but I kind of lift it up to let it, I don't know, get more aeration in the beginning of the bubbles. I'm gonna lift this up in a minute. There's a lot of stuff on the bottom. That might be the oats. All right. It's going slow now, so I have to lift it up some. Get the last bit in. Undo this. Close that up. Don't want it to leak out. Undo this. Let it drip out, and then carry this inside and put it in my freezer to ferment. So that's it. That's probably all we're going to do today. I didn't want to make this video a how-to, just using the fermenter. So, time for me to carry this inside. I'm going to stop the camera. So that's it. I finished brewing on my Anvil Foundry. Now it's time to clean this up. Except one faux pas I made. Big issue with this brew. So I brought it inside, my fermenter in, boom. About to add the yeast to it, and the yeast container, all right, it was all swollen, perfect. Did a great job with that. The liquid yeast, I was about to put in my cleaning solution, and I dipped it in. I grabbed the whole thing and I dipped it in cleaning solutions before I opened it. Make sure it's sanitized, right? Use my Star San. I dipped it in, I was distracted because trying to do all these different things at once. I dipped it in my hand and I was like, oh, I don't remember it being as cold. Right? I usually have warm star sand. And then I realized I just dipped it right in my beer. So I took my hand, that was probably dirty at that point, with the yeast container, a liquid yeast, and dipped it right in. It wasn't clean. So there's a chance this whole batch is completely ruined. Most likely it is. So what I'm going to do is try to, I don't know if this works. I'm going to try to ferment fast. Just not let it sit in the fermenter long. I'm going to probably do it like a week or so. Go, cool it, and keg it quickly. Yeah. So my plan was to have it sit for 3 weeks in there at least. And it looks like it's going to be like a week and a half, something like that. So it is what it is, but I'm kind of upset because I wasted a whole batch. If it didn't turn out good, I'm going to be very mad. I'll taste it when it comes out. Make sure before I keg it, because if it tastes bad, it's ruined. I'm not going to serve it. I'm not going to drink it. All right. Anyway, so don't do what I just did and do that when you brew a beer. All right. Well, I hope you had a wonderful time watching this snowy brew day with your future president here, Sean Gannon. And remember, vote Gannon. Who knows? Whenever you're watching this, most likely half of the people watching it won't like whoever's president at the moment. So you can always just vote for me next time. All right, this is Sean Gannon, future president here, signing off.